Hey guys, today we're going to explore something you've probably never given much thought to, at least not in this way. You're standing in your kitchen, the morning sun just barely slipping through the blinds, casting golden stripes across the counter. There's a carton of eggs in front of you. You reach for one, and for a split second, you pause. Could this simple egg, with its smooth shell and pale, perfect weight in your hand, really do as much for your memory as that pricey bottle of supplements on the shelf? You're curious because deep down, you'd rather crack open an egg than swallow another chalky pill. And honestly, you might be surprised by just how good eggs can be for your brain. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And while you're at it, drop a comment telling me where you're watching from and what time it is there. Now, let's start looking for things you don't know. You lift the egg up to the light and imagine all the things hidden inside tiny molecules that can change how sharply you think, how clearly you remember, how easily you focus. You might laugh at yourself, because who talks to an egg? But here you are, spinning it in your fingers like it's some sort of crystal ball. And in a way, it is. You see, an egg isn't just a breakfast item, it's a nutritional micro-universe. Inside that shell are nutrients with names that sound almost too scientific to be in food. Choline, lutein, zeaxanthin, DHA. You picture them like tiny construction crews, repairing the wiring in your brain's vast network. The first bite you take of a boiled egg today is soft, warm, and oddly comforting. The flavor is mild, but there's something almost buttery in its simplicity. You don't realize it yet, but as you chew, your body is absorbing one of the most important memory support nutrients you can get from food: choline. This little compound is a building block for acetylcholine, a neurotransmitter that helps your brain store and retrieve information like the name of that actor you keep forgetting or the exact spot where you left your keys. Without enough choline, your brain's memory files get harder to open. Now, imagine a memory supplement bottle. You flip it over, and the ingredients list is full of big words, some synthetic, some plant-based, some in doses too tiny to make a dent in your actual health. Compare that to your egg. Nature has already packaged the right blend of nutrients in just the right balance. No preservatives needed. Sure, supplements can have concentrated doses of specific compounds, but they often lack the natural synergy that whole foods provide. That's like trying to hear a symphony with only the violin section beautiful, but missing the full effect. As you wash down that egg with your morning coffee, you can almost picture your brain cells perking up, their membranes a little more fluid, their communication lines a little clearer. It's a small thing, almost invisible, but over days and weeks, these small things add up. One egg won't make you a genius overnight, but imagine one a day, every day, for months. The slow buildup of nutrients could be like tuning a guitar string, small adjustments, until suddenly the sound is bright and perfectly in tune. Of course, your skeptical side chimes in. If eggs are so good for memory, why isn't everyone just eating them instead of buying supplements? The answer isn't complicated, it's marketing. Pills look high-tech. They promise fast results and come with shiny labels. Eggs, well, they sit quietly in the fridge, not screaming for attention, but the science is there, even if it isn't printed in bold letters on a glossy box. You start thinking about how people in Europe have been eating eggs for centuries, often as part of long, leisurely breakfasts. They weren't chasing nootropic trends, they were simply eating whole, nourishing foods. In Mediterranean countries, you might find eggs paired with olive oil, vegetables, and whole grain bread, a combination that keeps both heart and brain humming along nicely. And those people? Many of them age with impressively sharp minds. Coincidence? Probably not. A joke pops into your head: if brains ran on omelets, you'd already be a Nobel Prize winner. But in truth, the gap between what we think of as simple food and what we call advanced nutrition is smaller than most people realize. The human body evolved to work with real food. Supplements can be valuable, especially for deficiencies, but they're more like emergency backup generators. Eggs are like the steady power supply that keeps the lights on day after day. Now, as you rinse your coffee cup and glance at the clock, you realize something. Today, You've already done something good for your brain, and it only took 5 minutes and one egg. No capsules, no complicated regimen, no remembering which bottle is for morning and which is for night. Just breakfast. The thought makes you smile, because the more you think about it, the more it feels like you've stumbled onto a little secret, a memory-boosting habit that fits so seamlessly into your life, you don't even have to try. And that's exactly the kind of health habit worth keeping. You're still thinking about that morning egg hours later, and it's not just because you're hungry again. It's because the more you dig into the science, the more fascinating this little food becomes. You sit down with a notepad, ready to peel back the layers metaphorically this time, and see what's actually hiding inside. First up is choline, the quiet superstar. You imagine it like a mail carrier, delivering messages between your brain cells. Without enough choline, the messages get delayed, mixed up, or lost altogether. It's not something you notice in a day, but over time, it's like trying to navigate a city with the street signs missing. Eggs, especially the yolk, are one of the richest natural sources of choline, far more efficient than most supplements, where choline is just one of many ingredients in a long list. Then there's lutein and zeaxanthin. Most people think of them as eye health nutrients, but your brain absolutely loves them. They're antioxidants, meaning they help mop up the molecular trash that builds up when your brain is working hard. You picture them as two cheerful janitors, sweeping away the clutter so your neurons can keep firing cleanly and quickly. These compounds don't always make it into supplements for memory, but in an egg, they're part of the natural package, no extra purchase required. DHA is another key player, an omega-3 fatty acid that's literally a part of your brain's structure. Imagine your neurons as high-speed internet cables. DHA keeps the insulation strong so the signal doesn't drop. Many fish oil pills boast about their DHA content, but omega-3 enriched eggs can hold their own surprisingly well, especially if they come from hens fed a quality diet. You get the benefits without that lingering fishy burp no one likes to talk about. And then we have vitamin B12, the unsung hero for nerve health. Without enough B12, your brain's electrical system starts glitching like an old TV antenna. Eggs give you a clean, steady source, no complicated absorption enhancers, no high-dose megacapsules. You jot these down in your notepad, and a funny thought hits you. This list looks suspiciously like the back of a memory supplement box, except here it's all in one neat, edible package. The big difference? The nutrients in eggs are wrapped in a natural matrix that your body knows exactly how to use. It's like getting a complete toolkit instead of just a few loose screwdrivers. You start thinking about cost. A dozen eggs versus a month's worth of brain supplements, it's not even close. For the price of one bottle of pills, you could eat a couple of eggs every day for weeks. You could make omelets, soft-boiled eggs, scrambled eggs, poached eggs, each one delivering the same brain-friendly nutrients without the artificial fillers or mystery additives. And let's be honest, no one ever said, "I can't wait to bite into my supplement capsule." As you picture your next breakfast, you remember how different cultures approach eggs. In the United States, it's bacon and eggs hearty, but often heavy. In France, it might be a delicate omelette with fresh herbs, light yet rich in flavor. In Australia, perhaps smashed avocado on toast topped with a perfectly poached egg, bright, fresh, and Instagram ready. In every case, the egg is more than just protein. It's a nutrient delivery system disguised as comfort food. You also think about something more subtle: bioavailability. How much of a nutrient your body can actually absorb and use. You can swallow a supplement with 500 milligrams of something, but if your body only takes in a fraction of it, the rest is wasted. Eggs, with their balanced mix of fats and proteins, create the perfect environment for absorbing those brain-friendly nutrients. Nature's design already solved the problem, no lab coat needed. A little joke crosses your mind. You could call eggs nature's smart pills, and maybe even put them in a fancy bottle just to see if people would pay more for them. You imagine a sleek black jar, each capsule a hard-boiled egg inside. Ridiculous? Yes. Tempting? Also yes. By now, you're convinced that eggs are not just in the same league as memory supplements. They're playing a smarter game altogether. Supplements might offer concentrated doses, but they rarely match the full spectrum synergy of a whole food. It's like comparing a solo musician to a full orchestra. Both can be beautiful, but one fills the room in a way the other can't. The best part? Eating eggs is not a chore. You don't have to remind yourself, set an alarm, or chase a pill with water. Instead, it's part of a ritual. You actually look forward to cracking the shell, hearing the sizzle in the pan, maybe adding a pinch of salt or a sprinkle of paprika. Every step feels like a little celebration, and your brain quietly thanks you for it. As the day winds down, you start planning tomorrow's breakfast. Maybe a sunny side-up egg with sautéed spinach and whole grain toast. Or perhaps you'll channel your inner French chef and whip up a silky omelet. Whatever it is, you know you're not just feeding your stomach, you're giving your brain a daily dose of exactly what it needs. A week has passed, and you've decided to treat this like a real experiment. No supplements, no brain gummies, no trendy powders, just eggs. One or two every single day, prepared in different ways so you never get bored. You jot down notes each evening, like a little scientist running a self-study. The first few days, you don't notice much. You still forget where you put your phone. You still walk into the kitchen and wonder why you came in. But by day 4, something subtle shifts. You're recalling names a little quicker, finishing sentences without losing your train of thought halfway through. It's not magic. It's more like finding a radio station that used to be fuzzy and hearing it suddenly come in crystal clear. By day 7, you've developed a rhythm. Mornings feel sharper, less foggy. That mid-afternoon crash where your brain feels like it's slogging through molasses, it's not completely gone, but it's lighter, shorter. You joke with yourself that maybe eggs are your Wi-Fi booster for the brain. One morning, you decide to compare. You dig out your old bottle of memory supplements from the back of the cupboard and study the label. There's choline, yes, but in a smaller dose than what you've been getting naturally from an egg. There's DHA, but from an oil that requires added emulsifiers to make it absorbable. There's vitamin B12, but in a synthetic form that doesn't always work as efficiently for everyone. You remember taking these pills before religiously, for months. And yes, they helped a bit. But you also remember the feeling of wondering if it was just the placebo effect. With the eggs, it feels different. This isn't something you force yourself to do. It's woven into your day. And maybe that's part of why it works. It's sustainable. You think about the science again. Nutrients in eggs don't just drop into your system like a delivery man tossing a package on your doorstep. They arrive with the right co-passengers to help them get inside your cells. The fats in the yolk help absorb fat-soluble compounds like lutein and DHA. The proteins slow down digestion, giving your body more time to take in every useful molecule. It's like having a VIP escort through your digestive system. 2 weeks in, you start to notice something unexpected. Your mood is steadier. Maybe it's the B vitamins supporting neurotransmitter production, or maybe it's just the small joy of a delicious breakfast each day. You find yourself less irritable when you hit a traffic jam, more patient when your computer decides to update at the worst possible time. A balanced brain is not just about memory, it's about how you handle the 1,000 tiny stresses that pepper your day. You also start getting creative in the kitchen. Scrambled eggs with feta and spinach one day, poached eggs over avocado toast the next, a soft-boiled egg sliced over a salad for lunch. Each variation keeps you from falling into the dreaded same food every day rut. And each time you crack that shell, you're reminded of the simplicity of this experiment. One ingredient, many possibilities, countless benefits. There's a moment during week 3 that really makes you pause. You're in a meeting. Someone mentions a project from 6 months ago, and you remember every detail, dates, numbers, even the color of the slide deck. Before, you might have struggled to pull that memory up, the details fuzzy around the edges. Now it feels like flipping straight to the right page in a book. That's when you realize this is no longer just about replacing a pill, it's about upgrading your brain's daily fuel. You keep your sense of humor about it. One morning, while flipping an omelet, you joke aloud to yourself, "Careful, that's not just breakfast, you're holding a cognitive investment." It's silly, but it makes the act of cooking feel a little more special, like you're in on a secret most people haven't caught on to yet. By the end of week 4, you're convinced. The combination of choline, DHA, lutein, and B12 isn't just holding its own against the fancy formulas in supplement bottles, it's outperforming them in a way that feels tangible in your everyday life. And the best part? You've enjoyed every single bite along the way. You think about how easy it is to keep going. Eggs are everywhere in the corner store, the farmer's market, the supermarket. They're portable, versatile, and naturally portioned. And they don't expire in a week like that overpriced smoothie mix that still haunts the back of your pantry. This little experiment started with curiosity, but now it's turned into something bigger, a lifestyle shift you can actually see yourself sticking with. Because at the end of the day, the most effective brain support isn't the one with the most exotic ingredient. It's the one you'll actually take, day after day, without effort or resistance. And for you, that means cracking open another egg tomorrow morning. Another month passes, and by now, eating 1 or 2 eggs a day feels as natural as brushing your teeth. You don't think about it, you just do it. The carton in your fridge is always full, like a quiet promise that your brain's daily fuel is ready and waiting. Some mornings you make it fancy, a fluffy omelet with mushrooms, chives, and a sprinkle of cheese. Other days, it's just a simple boiled egg, sliced in half with a pinch of sea salt. The variety keeps you from slipping into autopilot, but the result is the same. Each meal is a dose of choline, lutein, DHA, and B12 that slips into your system without fuss. You've stopped comparing eggs to supplements in your head, because at this point, they're not even in the same category for you. The supplements feel like a backup plan, a just-in-case measure for when food can't deliver. But with eggs, you're not just covering 1 or 2 nutrients. You're getting a coordinated team, each player doing its part to keep your neurons firing smoothly. One evening, you sit outside with a cup of tea, letting your mind wander. You remember starting this whole journey wondering if an egg could really match a memory supplement. Now, your answer is a quiet, confident yes. Not because an egg is a miracle cure, but because it's steady, consistent, and sustainable. It's real food, whole, balanced, and perfectly packaged by nature. You picture your brain as a busy city at night, lights flickering in office buildings, traffic flowing through well-lit streets, everything running in harmony. The nutrients from your daily eggs are like the unseen maintenance crews checking the wiring, replacing bulbs, fixing potholes, keeping the whole city humming without drama. Your advice to anyone asking? Start small. 1 egg a day if that's all you can manage. 2, if you want to give your brain an extra edge. Don't overcomplicate it. You don't need exotic powders shipped from halfway around the world or capsules with names you can't pronounce. Sometimes the most effective solution is sitting quietly in the fridge, waiting for you to notice. You also remind yourself that balance matters. Eggs aren't an excuse to skip sleep, ignore stress, or live on junk food. They're a powerful piece of the puzzle, but they work best when the rest of your lifestyle supports them. Eat them with colorful vegetables, whole grains, maybe some healthy fats. That's when you really feel the difference, not just in memory, but in focus, mood, and energy. One last joke crosses your mind before you call it a night. If your brain ever sent you a thank you note, it might just smell faintly of scrambled eggs. And with that, you lean back, feeling both amused and oddly content. This isn't the end of an experiment. It's the start of a habit you'll keep for years. The light outside fades, and your thoughts slow down. You let your mind drift to the rhythm of the day, the sound of a pan sizzling, the soft crack of a shell, the gentle steam rising from a freshly cooked egg. There's something comforting in knowing you found a small, easy way to support your brain without turning it into a chore. The world feels softer in this moment. The trees outside sway gently in the breeze, the air is warm against your skin, and your mind feels calm yet alive. You think about the weeks ahead, the mornings still to come, each one starting with that simple ritual. It's not flashy, it's not loud, but it works. And maybe that's the real secret. Good habits don't have to shout to change your life. Sometimes they just need to show up every day, quietly doing their job, like a steady heartbeat. You smile, knowing tomorrow morning will be the same. A fresh egg, a warm breakfast, and the quiet confidence that you're taking care of your brain in the most natural way possible. Goodbye. See you in the next video.